Hello once again. Welcome to Behind the Mic. I'm Gary Laubach along with Mike Joseph, and we are on a bit of a roll, 2-0 the last two ball games, and certainly heading into what could be the most important game we've played in about 5 years, and it's going to be against Holy Cross, a team that will come in undefeated in the Patriot League, 3-0. Don't let their 5-4 record fool you. They have lost to Navy, to Yale, to Syracuse, and to Harvard. So they have played a very, very tough schedule. Mike, last year they were 5-6 overall, 4-2 in the league. We'd like to make them 4-2 in the league again.
Absolutely, and we're in a similar position to what we were last year. You know, we had a great first quarter we put together last year against them. We went up 10-0, had a punt return for a touchdown, went right down the field and scored a field goal. Lafayette's been extremely good in the first quarter the last couple weeks. They need to continue that. And when you're on the road, you've got to put the pressure on the other team. They're going to try to absorb your first blow, but Lafayette has to be consistent. You can't go through that second and third quarter. And this past week, it was kind of the third quarter into the fourth quarter. You got to find your feet. You got to be able to do it throughout the game consistently, and I think that's what Coach John Garrett's looking for.
Yeah, we got a little nervous last week in that ball game, up by 21. All of a sudden, we're down by 3, and then all of a sudden, the good news, we end up winning that ball game by 4. We both joked about the fact that we kind of wish we are going to Holy Cross, and we never say that. It's not the best place in order to go and do a football game, but we'll certainly be watching on the internet, as I'm sure you will be too. All right, we look at Holy Cross first, and we'll take a look at all the good things Lafayette did this past week. First of all, good quarterback, Connor Dagenhart. He's a big kid, 6'6", 214.
Yeah, he's a big kid, and that allows him to see over the line of scrimmage. I don't think he runs the ball really well. I don't think they have design runs for him. But Lafayette, if they want to stop this offense, they're going to have to stop the run first. Again, it always comes down to stopping the run, which I think they did an unbelievable job against Zach Davis, holding him under 40 yards rushing. If they can do that again against Dominic Cozier, one of the best running backs in the league, who's really lighting it up lately, I think they can turn this into a one-dimensional game. In other words, make that offense throw the football more times than they want, get them off schedule, as everybody always talks about, put them in some second down and longs and third down and longs. You know, Lafayette doesn't have a lot of interceptions this year, but it plays into them rushing the passer.
Yeah, the story doesn't change every week, it seems. We've got a decent quarterback, although he only completes 51% of his passes. I truly understand why Mike wants to put the ball in his hands a little bit more. For Cozier, he just ran for 190 yards against Lehigh. He ran for 208 yards against Lehigh last year. But as always, they have a very good wide receiver in Tenio Ieni. He has 33 catches, 4 touchdowns. He is a good one. But again, I think you'd rather see us take a chance on the pass game as opposed to the rushing game.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I mean, you saw what Malik Ham did last week. You saw Ryan Barnett. You see Keith Earl. The way they can turn it up and pin their ears back when they know they can rush the passer. And I think flat out they're better than a lot of offensive linemen in this league. So the question is, are they going to be able to hold up front? But you got to force them into those situations where it's a definite passing situation. They hurt us last year formationally. A couple times they ran that trips or that bunch formation into the boundary, either ran the ball or threw the ball out. We have to be formationally sound defensively. We have to get lined up properly. So you got to expect almost the unexpected from them. They do run a muddle huddle on their kickoff, on their extra point and field goal. So you have to be ready for a lot of different things, and a lot of that falls on Manny Rojas and his defense, which I think is becoming one of the better defenses in this league.
Yeah, they scored 40 consecutive points on us last year, and we certainly can't let that happen or anything like what happened this past Saturday, certainly in allowing Fordham to get back in that ball game. Mike, there's a huge positive comes out of this season, actually, and that's how good these freshmen and sophomores are. We lose Pearson, Revere, and Gillette. Don't play it down in the last ball game. We stick freshmen in there, and they end up doing a terrific job.
Yeah, and it goes back to Coach Garrett and the way he's coached those kids. You can't just throw those kids out there, especially in an offense like John Garrett's, where you got 4 tight ends on the field one play, and then you have 4 tight ends and 4 wides the next play. So these kids have to understand the system, have to understand their role, whether it's blocking, whether it's running a route, whether it's clearing out a route, different things. So, you know, give Jordan Hall a lot of credit. I mean, he was fantastic. He did a tremendous job. Some of the other players, Julius Young did a good job. Remember, you have young Stylianos, who made a huge catch down the middle. Taggart is becoming a weapon as well. And then you obviously have the 2 big running backs back there to pound the football. So give the coaching staff a lot of credit for having younger kids ready. and then you always got the freshman at the helm as well.
Yeah, certainly, and he was, again, the rookie of the week was Keegan Shoemaker. He had another terrific ball game. You look at Marco Olivas, another freshman. The defense is playing extremely well. They gave up just 68 yards rushing in this past week against Fordham. All right, the biggest key for us to come away with a win, be tied for first place, and just look ahead to Colgate, Lehigh, and maybe a Patriot League championship.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to being consistent with your play calling, being consistent with your run game. You've got to be able to run the football. Even if you fall behind a touchdown, if you fall behind 2 touchdowns, be consistent in what your game plan is. Run the football. Maybe take away some of the possessions away from a Holy Cross offense who's getting better and obviously played some great talent this year. So consistently run the football. You never know what kind of weather day you're going to get up there. It could be a monsoon. It could be cold as heck up there. So you don't know what the passing game has to bring. But consistently run the football. Be balanced on offense. I think that's a key this week. And then Keegan, again, using his feet and his legs on the design runs. And then obviously you see how tough he is to defend for a defensive coordinator when he gets outside the pocket, looking at the play he made down the field to Jordan Hull to win the ball game. This is an offense for Lafayette. You can't get too pass happy, and you can't get too conservative. You got to stay wide open, and I think Coach John Garrett is in right now in the zone. You call in the zone with players. He's in the zone now calling plays.
We always talk offense, defense. Mike inside the huddle this week's talking special teams, and they very often can turn around a very close football game. The Patriot League Network will bring you the football game. It starts at noon. Lafayette, Holy Cross, none bigger. Thanks for joining us behind the mic.